Hey y'all, it's Jody May. Welcome back for another week of What's for Dinner. I hope you guys enjoy. This week I only have three recipes for you guys to try, but trust me, anybody can do them and they're really good and everybody will like them. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. To start off, I made pan-fried tilapia. You guys, this is a must-try. I'm telling you, it's good, and every time I make it, it seems to get better. The only thing that you're going to notice here is I'm not going to use a batter to do my tilapia in. Now, the reason I'm going to do it this way is just because I don't want a thick crust on these. I want you to be able to taste the tilapia itself and the lemon and the parsley. Oh my goodness, all the goodness in it. Now here I'm just going to go ahead and season up the flour with just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. If you guys have seafood seasoning, you can also add that in. But as you notice, I do not have eggs or any kind of wash to put these in first. All I'm going to do is take the tilapia, put it in the flour, and get it good on both sides. Now before I started putting the fish into the flour, I did go ahead and put my pan on the stove and I added the oil, so it's already getting hot. Now I'm not going to be deep frying these guys. All I do is just put a few tablespoons of oil in my pan, and then I get it probably a medium to a medium high on the stove, just so it is a quick fry and you can cook them thoroughly, about 3 to 4 minutes on each side this way. Now after they were all cooked, I went ahead and put them to the side and covered them up so they would stay nice and hot, and then I go ahead and add in the butter to the skillet. Now I want to brown the butter, and do this, all I do is I turn it down to a low medium, and then I let it cook for probably 2 to 3 minutes, just until the butter is really good and melted and it really starts to have a brown tint to it. Now once the butter was browned up, I went ahead and added in the garlic. I want it to cook for maybe a minute and a half until it gets pretty fragrant. And then I go ahead and add in the parsley, and then I add in the lemon juice. I mix it really well, let it cook for maybe a minute most, and then I go ahead and pour it directly over top of the fish. I don't want it to cool, and I don't want it to thicken. And I served this up with some mashed potatoes and green beans. For this dinner, we had bacon and meatball subs, and you guys, they turned out so good. Now I hope you guys are enjoying that I'm leaving the ingredient list at the very beginning of each clip to help you guys out. You guys can change these recipes up to suit your own families. Like I said before, if you guys know how I do my things, I normally don't measure anything. I just eyeball pretty much everything. But there is kind of a basic recipe to these ingredients that I use. So I do hope you guys are enjoying that, because I normally don't put it in the description box. It is just kind of a thing that I just never did do before. But I hope you guys are enjoying that I do that. That way you guys can take a screenshot of it to keep it for later.
Maybe I never knew what I really wanted, but looking back I could see.
Now here comes the gooey part, guys. As you're gonna notice, I'm not a creepy kind of girl. My hands are going straight down in there. You guys can use a fork or a mixer or anything, however you guys want to do it, but you need to get it mixed up really good. I just use my hands, and then once it's all completely mixed good, I go ahead and roll them into balls, and I try to get them the same size, and I usually just use the fingertip to the middle fingertip, or the thumb tip to the middle fingertip, to try to estimate the size that I need for these meatballs. Now, while I was preheating the air fryer, I went ahead and got the bacon onto the tray, and I put that into the oven at 425 degrees, and then I went ahead and got started on the marinara sauce. I am using a pre-made marinara sauce, but I don't like the flavor that I normally can find, so I normally add just a few things to mine. Like this here, I just added in about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half of olive oil, and then I put in some onion, and then I just mixed that up a little bit, let it cook for a couple minutes until the onions started getting a little translucent, and then the last minute of it cooking, I went ahead and added in the garlic, and I let that in there for maybe a minute or two, and then I add in about 3/4 of a jar of the marinara sauce. Oh yeah, and a pinch of salt and pepper. Now, once I added the marinara sauce, I added in a little bit too much Italian seasoning as I was putting it in there. A little bit more came out than I expected. Still turned out good, but all I wanted to do was put in about a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and I'll let that simmer for probably the whole time that the meatballs are in there, so probably 15 minutes max. Now, I go ahead and I put the meatballs into the air fryer at 390 degrees for about 18 minutes. Now, once they were done, I went ahead and got out all the ingredients that I needed, and you guys can top these with whatever you want, but this one here, I just topped it with, of course, the bacon and the meatballs. You guys, in the future, I will be making these a little differently. I will definitely put the bacon on the bottom, and then the meatballs, and then the sauce, and then the cheese. It would probably stay together a little bit easier, but I always seem to have to complicate something somewhere along the line in my videos. In my life, that's pretty much how it goes. But anyhow, once I have the cheese on them, I go ahead and put them into the broiler for about 2 to 3 minutes until the cheese gets good and melted and a little bubbly. Top them off with whatever you want. Here, I'm going to top these ones off with some onion, some banana peppers, some tomato, and some pickle. And there you have it, guys. It was really good. As you guys notice, I do not have a ingredient clip for this one, just because these were green beans from the garden. You guys can actually use frozen green beans if you wanted to for this, but this here was green beans that we had in the garden, or got out of the garden. I had already put them in the freezer. It was about a quart of green beans, and I put in 6 medium potatoes. I put in probably 8 slices of ham that I had cut in half. I added in some onion, some garlic, 1.5 cups of water, some salt and pepper, and then I put it into the Instapot for 30 minutes on high pressure. You guys, like I said, you can use frozen green beans. You're probably going to have maybe 2 packs of them, unless you get a larger size pack. But this is super easy, super affordable, and I'm telling you guys, it's really good. This is like a home-cooked meal all in one little pot. Now, once I had everything in there, I went ahead and added 1.5 cups of water, put the top on it, had the seal on good, and cooked it for, like I said, about 30 minutes on high pressure. Thanks so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner. I hope you guys cared to subscribe. Click that bell so you don't miss any future videos. Have a great day, y'all.